As the cliche goes, be the change you want to see. And in this breaking story, that becomes more and more important every single day we deal with the Trump administration. And in this breaking story, one of the most important elements of American history is the concept and the action of a protest or a boycott. It is one of the most powerful tools that we the people have, and we are going to have to enact and use it more and more often going forward. And in this breaking story, which I'm going to show you in a few seconds, oh my goodness, does that actually produce results? Because again, as the old cliche goes, money talks and BS walks. And the most famous hashtag we have going on now is FAFO. Yeah, F around and find out. Well, in this story, doing boycotts towards retailers does work. And even sometimes when you do it in reverse, because I'm all for free speech, protest both ways, and sometimes it has consequences you weren't even expecting. And before I show you that breaking story, take a quick listen to this.
And turning now to boycotts. Boycotts have been a hot topic of conversation lately. You might think they're pointless or possibly a powerful tool for change, from the American Revolution to the Civil Rights Movement to consumer boycotts. A call to action seems to be an American tradition.
From bus boycotts and sit-ins in the 1950s and 60s in the South to the Native American movement in the 70s, those are just a few examples of how boycotts in America have been used as a tool for social and political change. To this day, the United States government has a decades-old economic embargo on Cuba, just as the Arab League has imposed a trade embargo on Israel since its founding. And that brings us to more modern forms of boycotting. We see it all the time, targeting businesses for their political and social stances.
We're all truly blessed at the same time to have a leader like President Trump.
Remember when Goya Foods was getting backlash for the CEO's relationship with Donald Trump? And it hasn't been that long since Chick-fil-A was getting called out for its donations to anti-LGBTQ groups.
I probably spend like $50 a month. Then I reduced my Chick-fil-A intake when the first round of Chick-fil-A is anti-gay came out.
Yes. And in the vein of going too far the other way, then what happened at Target was you had the same MAGA crowd complaining you were trying to indoctrinate children into LGBTQ with clothing, and people said this.
More recent boycotts have gone the other way on gay rights and ransacking of Target's Pride section during Pride Month.
Honestly, Target, what is going on? This is pretty disgusting.
These are like naked people in Chicago.
And so what did it lead to? Target decided to wake up one day, kind of like the mistake Bud Light did, and Target woke up and said, okay, screw you DEI, and we're going to dismantle, and terminate all of our DEI policies. Whoopsie poop. And in this breaking story, not only did their sales and consumerism fall sharply quickly, it led to a crying phone call from the CEO, and that's the power of we the people. Here is the story.
Al Sharpton holds constructive and candid meeting with Target CEO over DEI initiatives. The CEO of Target met MSNBC host Reverend Al Sharpton on Thursday as the latter's organization puts pressure on companies that previously scaled back DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Sharpton met with Brian Cornell, Target's CEO, to discuss how Sharpton has encouraged his followers to boycott the chain as it has reduced its DEI efforts. The news of the meeting was first reported by CNBC. He called the meeting with Cornell very constructive and candid, and said that he would inform our allies, including Reverend Dr. Jamal Bryant, of our discussion, what my feelings are, and we will go from there. Bryant is an Atlanta pastor who organized a Target Fast for Lent to protest that chain's scaling down of its DEI policies. Fox News Digital reached out to Target, Cornell, and Sharpton for comment, but did not immediately receive a response. In a reported statement to CNBC, Sharpton said that Target reached out to him for the meeting. "You can't have an election come and all of a sudden change your old positions," Sharpton said. "If an election determines your commitment to fairness, then fine. You have a right to withdraw from us, but then we have a right to withdraw from you." In January, President Donald Trump signed the executive order ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity, directing federal agencies to end all DEI practices and asking the private sector to end illegal DEI discrimination and preferences. Sharpton called the meeting with Cornell very constructive and candid, and said that he would inform our allies, including Reverend Dr. Jamal Bryant, of our discussion, what my feelings are, and we will go from there. On February 20, Florida Attorney General James Othmeyer filed a class action lawsuit with America First Legal and law firms Boyden Gray and Lawson Huck Gonzalez against Target for the company's alleged intentional deception of investors regarding its radical LGBTQ activism. The lawsuit says that Target shareholders lost tens of billions of dollars and that the company actively misled investors, claiming that they would look out for the possible risks of their DEI and environmental, social, and governance (ESG) policies, but actually only tracked the response of left-leaning activist groups. Part of Target's Pride merchandise that drew headlines in 2023 included an adult one-piece swimsuit featuring a tuck-friendly construction and extra crotch coverage. The retailer also reportedly sold chest binders. Following the rollout of the merchandise, the store's market value fell to $57.7 billion from $74 billion. In a Thursday post on Instagram, Sharpton wrote, "As attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion escalate nationwide, we're standing up, not backing down. DEI is under siege, and some are acting like it's already dead. But at NAN, we know the fight is far from over. Today marks 67 straight weeks of action. We've been on the front lines outside Bill Ackman's office in NYC, demanding accountability and pushing back on the corporate rollbacks. Now is not the time to slow down. It's time to turn up."
Once again, as long as it's peaceful, as long as you don't actually cause human beings harm, which we have seen over the last 10 years, man, I'm all for whatever you want to protest. It doesn't have to be the opinion I hold. It can be the opinion you hold. But there are consequences, oftentimes not necessarily the direction you were planning on, when you go and do such. Because there are going to be millions of people who take to the street tomorrow, Saturday, April 19th, celebrating the 250-year anniversary of Paul Revere's ride, "Oneth by land, twoeth by sea." And the key to that is the fact that they will be peaceful unless someone from the other side causes a ruckus. So remember, when you start thinking you can't this or you can't that, I assure you, if this entire country, it won't happen, but if this entire country could manage to not buy anything from Amazon or Walmart for 30 days, it would cost them millions and millions and millions of dollars. So don't forget, we, the people, do have power, and boycotting is one of them. You guys have a wonderful holiday weekend if it applies to you. Stay happy, healthy, talk to your friends, stay frosty.